56-year-old influencer Gail McNeil has over 500,000 followers who love her zest for life and positivity around all things ageing.
But it was just 5 years ago when Gail was at her lowest, feeling unfit and impacted by the menopause, so she sold her house and all her belongings and moved to Portugal for a new way of life in the sun.
Well, Gail joins us now to tell us why it's never too late to transform your life. Gail, welcome to This Morning. It's amazing to have you here. A lot of women will be watching this, not just women, but a lot of men that sort of get to a certain age and they'll be going, I need to do something in my life, I want to make a big change. They talk about it, they think about it, but they don't do it. What was it about your situation that meant that you actually went through with it and had this dramatic life change?
Well, I think the thing is that people overthink things and they think of all the reasons why they can't do something, not the reasons why they can do something. And we gather all these possessions up over the years and we hold on to them, but we have to look after them. They're a burden. But it was actually George Clooney's to blame for all of this because...
What? Of course he is.
What? Sounds like my kind of problem.
Because I don't know if you've ever seen the film Up in the Air.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And in the film, he has a backpack and he puts everything he owns in a backpack. And he said, imagine if everything you owned was in your backpack. And the moral of his story was, oh, no, you need more than that. But I heard that and that was it. I said, I want everything I own in a backpack. So I decided to sell everything. And my husband was just...
Was he in it too?
He was just like, do what you like. It makes you happy, let's do it.
Did you have to sell him the idea, though? Or was he like...
No, he was like,
hey,
this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. So I said, everything you own, you have to look after, you have to maintain it. So to begin with, it's really difficult because letting go of things that you've looked after... But I got carried away and I was burning things, so there was no going back.
Wow.
I was in the garden burning my son's artwork and things like that because...
What that you've had since he was little?
Yeah.
Goodness me, how did your son feel about this?
He didn't know. He was off travelling the world, so...
So he was having his own adventure?
He was having his... He's like me, he's quite a minimalist. He likes to be agile and mobile and be able to go and do what he wants when he wants to do it. So it's very addictive, though, because once you start burning things and giving things away and donating things and selling things, you just can't stop.
Well, you realise you don't really need it.
You don't need anything. So we sold everything and then we downsized...
Can I just ask a question? Did your husband or you ever go to get something and go, where's that gone? And
Yeah,
you suddenly,
burned it.
Sorry, I sold that last week.
Yeah, that happened a lot. That happened a lot. And also people would turn up and they would have their truck outside and, oh, what have you come for? You've come for the table, you've come for this. And I went, what size feet have you got? And they, what? Do you need some wellies? And I just give them a pair of hunter wellies or something.
So you were giving away his clothes as well?
Yeah, I was giving away everything.
So why did you choose Portugal? What was the motive?
We'd planned for about 10 years to move to Italy.
Okay.
So we'd learnt the language. We're going to move to Italy.
Wow.
And then, but we travelled all over Italy and I kept saying, oh, but there's nowhere that feels like home. And, oh, it's nice, but it didn't feel like home. So we went to Portugal. I saw a TV programme and I thought, oh, that looks really, really nice. It looks very natural, very wild, which you wouldn't believe because most people don't see that part of Portugal.
No.
So we took a flight within a couple of days and we landed in the north of Portugal and I was just smitten. It's very wild and rugged. I mean, these pictures here are Algarve, and everyone knows Algarve.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
But there's a real wild side to it as well. There's amazing bird life, and there's amazing walks in the north, in Jerez, in Suajo, and I was just smitten with it, and the people were so lovely. So I was just, I could live here. It was
And
that
then
simple.
that was kind of the catalyst for everything else as well. It was kind of, you took that huge jump, which was brave, right? And it's kind of like it's going a little bit into the unknown. You're scaring yourself a little bit. And then you changed all different aspects of your life as well.
Yeah, well, we moved there with just 10 boxes of essentials like paperwork and things you can't live without. You know, I tried to get rid of everything, I really did. So we moved there with 10 boxes and then the whole lockdown thing happened. And I was someone that was walking 6 hours a day with my dogs in Devon, when we lived in Devon. And suddenly I'm locked down, you know, alcohol becomes a little bit more accessible when you're at home. And so I started drinking more than I should. And by that, I mean 2 drinks a day, which to a lot of people is quite normal. But I was drinking 2 drinks a day. And then it just kind of was piling weight on, but I didn't really notice because, you know, it was a chaotic time in the world. And then we took a trip to the north of Portugal And I love filming things. I film everything. I'm like, oh, there's dogs swimming in the water. And then I looked at that image 2 weeks later and I was about to delete it. And I said, no, I'm going to keep that because I don't want to look and feel like that again. And it wasn't so much how I looked, actually. It was, I could see in my eyes how I felt.
Right.
I was very lost, very stressed, and it was in a very dark place because, go on.
So I was going to say, so how did you shift then? What is it? Because we talked about the one bit of gym equipment that you have used that has helped you drop all this weight.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's not really the weight. It wasn't about losing weight. It was about stop gaining weight. So I wanted to stop gaining weight. And then I wanted to get back to my fitness. So I couldn't walk. I couldn't go out and about. So I wanted something I could do at home that didn't cost money, that I could do on my own, that I could do indoors when it was hot. So I picked up my jump rope. I thought, I did this as a child. How difficult can it be? She said.
Yes.
Well, looking at you now, it's not difficult at all.
No,
but when you start, I mean, the exercise stuff that you post is just fantastic.
Yeah. It's a little bit and often. And then your diet as well, you changed too.
Yeah.
You became a vegan.
Well, I'm plant-based. I never say vegan, I say plant-based because I think that when you say vegan, people say, well, I can't do that, and it's too scary.
Oh, okay.
But I say plant-focused, plant-based, so that it's encouraged. I don't tell people not to eat meat. I say eat more plants. So but it wasn't so much what I was eating. I changed my eating habits.
So you're fasting?
So I do, most people do an 8-hour fasting eating window in a fasting period of 18 hours or 16 hours. I have a 6-hour eating window. Okay. So I choose... I know.
I just did the math there.
Yeah. 18-hour fast.
Yeah, so I do an 18-hour fast every day. And the reason for that is that I'm a real foodie and I love food and I'm obsessed with food and I used to look forward to food. And now I only need to think about food for 6 hours.
Okay.
And the other 18 hours I can be doing something else. And I had to learn to find things to occupy my mind. So I think with food it becomes entertainment. Yeah. And people eat for fun, they eat to something, enjoyment for their mouth. And for me, it's about nutrition now. But the first 6 weeks were really hard. But after those 6 weeks, cravings went, hunger went, and I lost my excess weight and I've stayed the same weight ever since.
It's so lovely to meet you, Gal. We'll put all the details of how people can follow you and understand some of the inspiration.
And come back again and tell us more.
Thank you. I'd love to.
Because there'll be lots of our viewers who will be sitting there thinking that's exactly the sort of thing we fancy doing. I just need to have that push.
Adventure.
That moment.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.